At times you start to think you're there, having that depth that you need, but right now we don't. I mean, and it's kind of across the board. I mean, you'll have one guy that has to play multiple positions. Like on our O line, we got guys playing, guard, tackle, trying to learn both sides of the ball as well, and then defensively, got guys playing free and playing bandit, playing corner, and I mean, it's just you never have the depth that you really want. Just hopefully some of those guys can step in and get the job done for you. I don't know if it'll ever happen. Getting that depth. I mean, you start to feel comfortable, and all of a sudden injuries do occur and hold you back a little bit. But if we were healthy right now, I'd feel pretty good. Right now we just got so many injuries that who knows what's going to happen. They're banged up. We'll just kind of see how this week goes. Jose should be back. Toby could be back. All those things that just go into it. It's just how the rehab goes and getting strength back. In those areas, and but for the most part, I'm sure they should be back. I feel pretty good about the progress of them getting back as well. So just have a day off here. They had Sunday off, Monday off, and probably give them today off as well, just to kind of recuperate. But then we'll practice Wednesday, Thursday, and be ready to go on Saturday. Yep, Jake's good to go. Yep, he's good. Yeah, we do. We started that probably a couple weeks ago. Just cutting back just a little bit. Like today, it'll be we should do a 24 to 25 period practice. Now we're at about a 19 period practice, and tomorrow will be about an 18, and then Thursday will be about an 18 as well. So we do cut it back. I mean, by now, technique and fundamentals have been taught already, so it's just kind of getting into your inside run and special teams and scaling and team sessions is kind of what you do. You still have about 10 minutes of individual just to make sure we clean some things up and, protection review and defense working on their blitzes and perfect drops and things like that. But, by this point, don't need to do a lot of banging, hit each other, not a lot of go if one's going versus ones. It's just kind of get into your groove right now, figuring out what you want to do offensively and defensively, and get better at it. So the practices are shorter just because of injuries and because of the time of year as well. I think so. I mean, I just getting that monkey off your back. I mean, Fortes hadn't done that in a long time, or I don't know, can't remember the last time they did. And the first time since I've been here. And it does. It just kind of gives you that confidence, that they are beatable. They are a good football team. They've been beat this year already. And just knowing that we can do it. If we put everything together, offensively, defensively, and on special teams, we got a great chance to win this ball game. I expect us to go in there and compete and win this ball game as well. And hopefully our players expect the same thing. So, but it all goes down to preparation this week in the film room, on the practice field. Understand this is going to be a very physical football game. This is going to be a tough football game, and just mentally preparing yourself for that. And if we can do those things and get ourselves ready, it's going to be a great game on Saturday. I think so with both teams. They got a great defense. I think we have a great defense as well. I mean, their offense is pretty good. I think if we're clicking on offense, we're pretty good as well. So, looking at it, just seeing what they do, numbers-wise defensively. I mean, teams have struggled to put points on the board, and our defense does a good job of doing the same thing. So, just the two teams putting a lot of pressure on the offense to get things done, and somebody's offense has got to take over and win this ball game. Hopefully we can create some turnovers defensively and get the ball back to our offense, and hopefully we don't turn the ball over and put our defense in a bad situation. So, yeah, but I can see it be another one of those low-scoring games, just like last year. No, we just try to find ways to attack them. They do things very, very well with their man coverage, zone coverage. Mixing it up. I'm disguising things as well. They always look like they're in the same, front and same look in the secondary, and they'll change it up with the man coverage or zone coverage. So, just our quarterback, being able to read and distinguish it pretty quick. Knowing that you're not going to have a lot of time to sit back in the pocket and get rid of the ball just because their D-line is, so aggressive and pins their ears back and gets after you. You got about 3 seconds, and that's max. So you got to make quick decisions, and our receivers got to understand that as well. That they can't get jammed at the line of scrimmage, and they got to get off, the defenders and get open, and then we got to find a way to establish our run game as well. So it's your game plan is your game plan. You do what you think you do well, and and what you feel comfortable with and what your players feel comfortable with, and you just roll with it and see what happens. It is. It's not going to be one of those opportunities where our backs are just going to be able to sit there and dance around and try to find a hole. We're going to have to get the ball and get downhill and get physical and run physical this week, and get yards after contact. I mean, that's just the way it is. They're going to be hard-fought yards, and we're going to try to get 3 or 4 yards of carry if we can. If not, it might just be 2, but I expect you to get downhill and at least get 3 yards of carry. I mean, it's going to be tough, but every team in the other conference is tough as well. We just got to be a little bit tougher this week, mentally and physically, and get downhill. No, it's still a must win. We have to win this ball game to at least share the conference title. If we win the next week, and it's playoffs. We're trying to get into the playoffs as well, and one loss can definitely take us out of conference championship, and probably could take us out of getting into the playoffs as well. So, we got to come to practice this week focused and locked in, and understanding our backs are still against the wall, and we got to play better than we ever have. We don't need anything spectacular or crazy, but you got to get better at your position and do your job better, and eliminate stupid mistakes and that have cost us these last few weeks. So, but it's a huge ball game, and our kids got to understand this is a huge ball game, and we're playing for a lot. Both teams are playing for a lot, and I'm sure they want the conference outright, and I don't mind to share. At this point with how we played against Mo West and Emporia. But just the things we've done with the young men that we've had, and the injuries that we've had as well. It's great progress, but I expect us to go in there and compete and win this ball game. They never talk about it. We try to get them not to talk about it or think about it, but it's always in the back of their minds. This game is one game everybody wants to play. They want to beat Northwest, and that's our goal. And every year, if you're competing at the end of the year, against Northwest, you got a good chance to win the conference and get into the playoffs. So, we put ourselves in a situation to do that. It's a tough situation. We won those 2 ball games earlier in the year. Things are looking better right now. But we put our backs against the wall with those 2 losses, and now we have to go in and compete and get the job done. So, our kids just got to be ready. They just got to be focused, and they just got to take care of business this week and prepare. If they do the things that we know they can do, I think they can be very successful on Saturday. Just his elusiveness, and he's a strong runner. He's elusive. He makes people miss. Got a very good arm. He's really good at downfield throws as well. Extends plays. Does a good job extending plays, and he's gotten better each week. And we got to find a way to keep him contained in the pocket. We got to find a way to eliminate the quarterback run. And just try to get him out of a rhythm. If we can get him out of a rhythm, I think we could, could have some success with our defense and getting the ball back to our offense. And then, we got to find a way to stop their pass game, and then stop the running backs. They have 3 running backs that switch in and out that are all very, very talented. But I think the whole key is just, getting, stopping their run game first. If we can stop the run game, try to get them one-dimensional, I think we'd have a lot more success on defense. Yeah, they have, just because there's so many different things, jet sweeps, quarterback power, quarterback counter, running back zone, just all the different elements that they bring, to their offense with their run game. It's just not, downhill, ground and pound. It's a lot of different things that they can do, getting, positive yards on first and second down and making third downs manageable. But it is much improved from last year. Their old linemen really get off the ball and do a good job of, creating double teams and getting off to the second level. So, our D linemen's got their hands full this week. They got to keep those double teams and keep them off our linebackers, and allow those guys to go make plays.
Along that line? I feel like it'd be pretty big. I feel like every game we've been playing up until this point, at least the few weeks, or the last about 3-4 weeks, have been huge for us, just because if we didn't win each of those games, then this game would mean nothing. So having an opportunity to go back-to-back in terms of conference championships and playoff appearances is something that would be huge for this program. I feel like since I've been here, we've been having a lot of firsts. First time for this, first time for that. So we're kind of getting accustomed to it. So it would just be another opportunity to break the records, and achieve something that's never been done before. There's always confidence when you go in there and beat them, but that was last year's team. This is this year's team. So there's nothing that's carrying over. I'm confident in this year's team. I'm confident that we have what it takes to go in there and get the job done. Just like they have a different team as well, different personnel. So, it's not really a carryover. It's just what we've done so far, what we've put on film, and, what we've worked on, this summer over the course of the season. And I'm confident that we have the ability to go in there and get the job done. Whenever you play a team like this, I think it's always going to be a defensive battle, just because they're so good with what they do on defense. Historically, they've been one of the top defenses in the conference. And, just like last year, I'm confident that our offense can, break away a couple big plays and, do what they need to do to get us to victory. But it's always going to be a defensive battle when you play Northwest. So. On their side, well, for Northwest, let's see. Obviously, they have a freshman quarterback. He's pretty mobile, so I think that's one of the main differences. He's in the previous years, they've kind of been pocket passer guys. He's more of a gunslinger. He likes to run around. Similar to Chance, if that kind of helps you guys out as for comparison. they have a few different running backs back there. Josh Caldwell's the guy that they brought over, so that's a different addition. They have a couple other guys. Number 3 for them, he's a bit of a shifty back too. And as for receivers, they're bringing back similar personnel. Sean Bain is back there again, so he's a similar threat that has been there consistently over the last 3 or 4 years. So their offense, the main thing that I can really say is just the quarterback. That's the main difference that I've seen on film. Well, as a DB, I mean, you're used to covering, for, however so seconds for your rush to get there. When you have a quarterback that's mobile, it adds a whole different dimension to the game because you have to cover for longer periods of time, so it's not your typical cover in your mental clock, cover, okay, he's down. You have to cover until that whistle's blown. So that just adds a whole different dimension to your covering your schemes when they can run around and kind of evade tackles and things like that and make plays on the run. So that's the main challenge in facing a quarterback like that. Yes, like you said, I don't think there's added pressure. I feel like other people when they play Northwest, they're like, oh, it's Northwest. We have to change up everything we've been doing, and we have to get this victory. But I feel like for us, obviously, since we've been in the situation, last year, we kind of know what we have to do to go in there and be successful. And like you just said, every game that we've been playing has been win or go home because in this conference, you guys know if you have 3 losses, your season's pretty much over. So every game has been just as important up to this point because this game wouldn't mean anything if we didn't win the past 5 weeks or so. So there's no added pressure. At least personally, I can't speak for everyone on the team, but there's no added pressure for me. We just have to go in there, execute, and as a team, we just have to go in there and do what I know we can do. So.
We have a lot of young guys, so it's more the older guys have to kind of get the younger guys ready for the environment of a hostile crowd, an electric crowd, because it's going to be packed. It's going to be a game, and just that this team is very disciplined, and they're a great team. They're not going to do things to beat themselves. We gotta come in with the mentality that we're going to beat them and play well to beat them. Absolutely, absolutely. I love big games. Started even in high school. Always playing the better competition. You just wanted to beat them, and then it's just stems in college too. These guys are the best of the best, and we beat them last year. It was a great feeling, and I'm ready to repeat this year. It's just, we started off kind of slow, and it's just we changed our mentality because we were seeing what happens when we underperform in games and everything else, and then the mentality of it's win or go home, and so we started it's on us. We have to make the plays for the team to win, and so that's what we just started doing. Just started making plays. This late in the season, everybody's got one team that's got players banged up, and we just got to kind of do it. We know that we got guys down, and so we're always short-staffed, and so we just got to do it. Nothing really else you can change about it. You just got to make your plays because they're not going to give up anything cheap. You got to earn it, and so when you get a chance to make a play, you have to make it. Otherwise, you're going to miss an opportunity to score. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Because it's going to be a defensive game just like it was last year. We knew that it was going to be a slugger. It's like my coach says it's a boxing match, and you just got to wait for your time to throw the haymaker, and when you do, you got to make sure you connect. Their corners are different, but they're still big, they're long, so that's going to be something that we haven't seen because we've never really played 6-foot-plus corners with long arms that are aggressive at the line and everything else. But on that end, the defense is really a lot of guys back, and so it's going to be a tough test because they're going to be veterans just like we are. And it's going to be they're good defense, and they're technically sound. They don't beat themselves. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm ready to play today, but I just know that we have to work hard in practice. This is a week where you don't mess around. You don't let anybody lag off or do anything wrong. You just hard hat, just every day working, knowing that this is the only game. If we don't win this game, we're done. It started after the game Saturday. You told them Northwest week. We got to get prepared. We got to, Sunday film. Monday, we got to correct what we did wrong against Lindenwood, and then we got to come in this week and just be ready to work and just work and just work.